Everyone set up and ready? So everybody's ready to move forward?
Yes.
So the reason we're here is to talk about the homicide we had last Monday, October the 23rd. Over the past week, we've had numerous media inquiries about the murder of Michael Jerome Hairston. Again, that occurred last Monday, October the 23rd. First, I'd like to thank all of our media partners for your continued coverage and your interest in this and for keeping our community informed. With that being said, we are pleased to announce that we've made an arrest in this murder. So just to remind everyone of what happened, on October 23rd, just before 7:30 a.m., our deputies responded to a well-being check at 84 Summit View Drive here in Henry County. And upon arrival, they located one male inside who was deceased. He was later identified as Michael Jerome Hairston, 46 years of age, and he resided in that apartment. Through the course of the investigation, we determined that on October the 21st, at approximately 7:08 p.m. that evening, two individuals had arrived at Mr. Hairston's home, and they entered his apartment. Both individuals are later seen running from his apartment a short time later, and that was recorded on a neighbor's doorbell camera system. Mr. Hairston's was sent to the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner, Roanoke, for an autopsy, where it was determined that his cause of death was a gunshot wound to the head. What was also determined during the course of the investigation is that the suspect vehicle was captured leaving the area on video surveillance. That vehicle was a 2008 Audi. It was captured shortly after the homicide occurred. So Henry County Sheriff's Office investigators, along with the assistance of the Roanoke Police Department, were able to locate the vehicle and the operator in Roanoke, Virginia yesterday. The operator of the vehicle was identified as Angelina Jillian Spade, 19 years of age. She lives at Truman Hill Drive in Hardy, Virginia. It was through the video that was captured at the apartment, the video surveillance image of the vehicle, and also witness statements that we identified her as being the female that entered Mr. Hairston's apartment. She was arrested last night in Roanoke, Virginia, and charged with first-degree murder and use of a firearm and commission of a felony. At this time, Angelina Spade is currently held in the Roanoke City Adult Detention Center without bond. As far as the male subject in the video, we do know his identity. This is a very active and ongoing investigation, and so we'll be continuing to work. And we have not brought charges against him yet, but we are looking to in the near future. Does anyone have any questions?
What was the relation, do you know, between the victim and these individuals?
The relationship is still under investigation. We are exploring the potential of social media and or online correspondence between the female and Mr. Hairston.
Can you share what charges will be brought against the male in that video?
Not at this time.
That block system, was that in Martinsville?
It is. It is located in the city of Martinsville. And we'll also answer any questions that you may have about yesterday's homicide in Fieldale. I know several of you had sent me emails inquiring about that this morning. Ms. Hoffman.
Yes.
Yes.
So, where are you all still looking for him? Do you have any leads on where the suspect is?
He was last known to be in North Carolina, so we're working with our partners in North Carolina to take him into custody at this time.
Do you know if he was fleeing to someone he knows in North Carolina? Does he have places he could stay there?
He does.
Do you know the relation between him and the victim?
They essentially had a relationship in common with a female there on 10th Street in Fieldale.
There's been a lot of murders recently, or homicides. There's been a lot of homicides recently in Henry County. How many specifically are this year?
I don't have the number this year. I think we're trending about 7 since July 1st.
And before September, there was only 2 at that point. Now there's 7. You know, that's quite an increase. Why do you think there are so many more now?
Many of these are domestic related, and you know that's simply something that we'll never be able to prevent. We just have to ensure that our investigative team is prepared to investigate those and solve them after they happen. But unfortunately, many of the homicides we've seen have been domestic related.
Do you know how many homicides there were last year?
I do not have that number.
Do you think it's out of character for Henry County to have this many?
There has been an uptick for sure.
And what can be done to curb that issue?
Again, with domestic related homicides, I don't believe there is a way to curb that issue. You know, we would encourage anyone who's in a volatile domestic situation to please seek help or get out of it before it escalates to that level. And you know, that's similar to what happened in Fieldale yesterday. You know, that was a situation that could have been avoided. It was actually a senseless crime of violence. It was completely unnecessary.
Do you know if the suspect in the 10th Street homicide, do you know his criminal history? Or does he have a criminal history here in Henry County?
He's not from Henry County. We had not dealt with him here locally, so I don't have any information about his criminal history to release at this time.
I know you've been asked before about the sheriff's office being able to capable of, you know, investigating and working on these homicides. But what challenge have you seen or have you faced going from one to the other so quickly?
So it has been a challenge. So this occurred on Monday, October the 23rd, and so since that, we had this homicide on Monday, we had the jewelry store robbery on Tuesday, we had a bomb threat on Wednesday, we had a missing persons case reported on Thursday, and then we went right into the NASCAR event, where we bring an extra 40,000 people into Henry County. So this team of investigators has had to manage all that. All these are active investigations that we've worked on relentlessly, day in, day out, tirelessly, all the while maintaining safety and security of the community, daily operations, and ensuring the successful and safe completion of the NASCAR event. So it has been a challenge on my investigators. They're not only investigators at the sheriff's office. They're husbands and wives, they're mothers and fathers. They've lost a tremendous amount of time at home, but also what they are is committed to this community and its safety. And so it's because of the strength of that team that we're able to manage cases like this and successfully resolve them.
How about the Eden jewelry? Any updates on that?
We do. We've developed substantial leads in the Eden jewelry case, and I feel confident that it will be solved soon.
And one thing you said they were from out of town. Do you still believe that?
We're still looking into that. We do have some out-of-town information on that, yes, sir.
Is it in the state or is it North Carolina? Would it be in Virginia?
In Virginia.
Were the guns used in both cases legally owned? You know?
In which case?
In both murders.
Oh, that's still under investigation.
Okay.
Was the video helpful? You know, to get these suspects on the this murder case?
The Ring doorbell camera video and the flock safety systems video was absolutely critical to this case.
So you were able to track them going through Martinsville?
We can do that, yes.
Right. Now I understand, I hear you're having some problems with your flock system in Henry County because of VDOT. Is that true?
So, you know, we invested over $250,000 in a flock safety system here for Henry County.
Yeah.
We've got our account up and running. We physically have that technology in hand. We are dealing with some property agreements as far as where we're going to physically place those devices. But yes, there are some issues with VDOT wanting that equipment placed on their right-of-way. So we're looking at other private property agreements and maybe with AEP to place the devices.
I've heard where they're fighting you, kind of.
I don't know that fighting is a good word. It's been a little bit of a challenge. It's unique for us. It's unique for VDOT. The city of Martinsville didn't have those issues when they installed flock safety because they own all their own infrastructure. They don't have to deal with separate right-of-way issues and or, you know, if they want to mount them to a power pole, the city of Martinsville owns those power poles.
Yeah, but one of the things we cover a lot on Special Star News is that there's times when government's kind of working against government.
Well, I hope to have it resolved shortly.
Okay, all right.
Does this surprise you, this increase of homicides, or I guess what are your thoughts on that increase?
So crime will always ebb and flow. There will be peaks and valleys in it. And so we've seen this before. We've seen crime, particularly violent crime in Henry County, spike. We've had as many as 16 homicides in Henry County in 1 year before. And that's been quite some time back. And then we've had as little as 1 or 2. So, there will always be rises and falls in the crime level. And I'd just like to ensure the citizens that the Sheriff's Office is here to serve them. We're here to keep them safe, and we'll work diligently to solve these cases.
Yesterday, it was kind of unique when that homicide took place, right in the street. People were trick-or-treating.
Yes, they were.
On 10th Street. I mean, so that had added extra impact, didn't it?
Yeah, they never stopped trick-or-treating.
Okay.
For the members of the community that are concerned about that uptick, what are your thoughts towards them? What do you have to say towards them?
What I would say is that each of these homicides we've had have not been random acts of violence. They've all been specifically targeted incidents. So then that's the one thing most of these people, like I said, they were either in a volatile domestic situation, or some of them may have even been involved in an at-risk lifestyle. So that there's been no random acts of violence committed throughout Henry County. I think the citizens should rest safely at night knowing that.
Except for there was the Good Samaritan one that was back in September, right? Where there wasn't that kind of a random act?
You could say that, I guess. Yeah.
And you talked about the importance of the community sending in, tips or any information. Are people actually sending in tips, or are they providing good information to help you find the suspects or put the piece together the investigation?
Most certainly. We find that we have great members of this community here, and they're really good about calling in. If they wish to remain anonymous, we honor those wishes. Some of them just want to do the right thing for the right reason. And so we've had been really blessed with people who provided good quality information to help solve these cases.
I know everyone's asked about everything else that's going on. Is there any additional updates to the missing individual?
The missing person case is a very active case. Our investigators are working on it as we speak. We hope to bring you some additional information in that case maybe as soon as tomorrow.
Are you happy with the way you're solving things, the way the team's working? Are you?
I'm very pleased with the way this team works. They've made tremendous sacrifices. They've poured their heart and soul into these cases in this community, and that's why we make so much progress. We're blessed to have such a strong team of committed investigators here at the Sheriff's Office. Thank y'all. You have one more?
Real quick. So what's the next steps now in these cases? What's next going forward?
As far as the homicide of Mr. Hairston, we will continue to work to get the male subject that was there, hold him accountable for his role, bring him to justice so this family can have peace and closure. As far as the homicide in Fieldale yesterday, we will continue to work diligently to bring that individual into custody.
You have any idea where it might be?
We believe he may be located in North Carolina. He's from the Danville, Virginia area.
The mugshot came from Danville, didn't it?
I'm not sure where it came from.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you.